This is Face the State with Dennis House, Connecticut's most watched local political program.
Good morning and welcome to Face the State. First up this morning, the race for the 2nd Congressional District seat currently held by Democrat Joe Courtney. And with us today is one of the Republicans hoping to unseat Courtney, State Representative Chris Coutu of Norwich. And Representative Coutu, good to see you here in the program.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to ask you, this has been a difficult year for you because you became, this is Father's Day, and you became a dad at the end of last year, but it was a touch-and-go situation for a while. Tell us about it.
Our daughter was diagnosed with transposition of the great arteries, which required open-heart surgery New Year's Eve. So me and my wife spent that in Boston Children's Hospital, and with the grace of God, our little girl has grown now 5 months, so it's a special Father's Day for me and my wife.
What was it like those days in Boston?
It was challenging. I actually was sworn into Hartford and Boston Children's Hospital, and our baby, just to witness 25 children that were intensive care unit, it was pretty traumatic. I met a lot of friends, people who had their children, their daughters, their little boys who were going through similar situations, and it was definitely an experience that I wouldn't want anyone else to go through.
How has this impacted you as a politician?
It's made me appreciate all the good things we have in America, including, in many ways, a great healthcare system. Boston Children's is a great hospital, and it's made me realize that there's areas where we can improve in, but we do have the best healthcare system in America. It's also made me appreciate some of the things we can do as legislators in Hartford and Washington, D.C. for the future of our children and the future of our families.
How do you feel about the UConn Health Center being expanded in Farmington?
I think in a time when we have record deficits, record spending levels, we have to be extremely cautious on bonding another $1 billion. And the governor's plan to basically subsidize UConn Hospital when other hospitals in the region are getting an $800 million tax, to me, is not the right plan.
Do you agree with some folks who believe it should be built in Hartford and there's no need for an extra hospital?
Absolutely. I think it could be built on other campuses, just like that relationship with Boston Children's and Harvard. They're right in walking distance, and they produce some of the best doctors, some of the best healthcare in America.
Let's talk about, why do you want to be a congressman? Why do you want to go to Washington?
You know, looking at America, we're in the middle of a fiscal crisis. Record unemployment levels, record deficits, record spending. And I cannot sit idle as our country goes through this situation. So what I'm going to do for the future of my family and the future of other families is challenge what I think is poor government, out-of-control government, and try to make a difference in Washington, D.C.
What do you think about Joe Courtney's performance? Obviously, you believe he should be replaced. Why? What's the argument?
Joe Courtney has been, in my view, a lifelong politician. He was first elected in 1984. He voted for the income tax and was the deciding vote on the income tax. It's an ideology, big government, that he's kept throughout his career, not only in Hartford, but also in Washington, D.C. He was one of the deciding votes with Obamacare, which I think needs to be repealed. He continues to go down the path of big government is the only solution. I think our solutions should come from Main Street, small businesses and entrepreneurs that produce 90% of Connecticut's jobs.
You know, with all due respect, the people who've gone before you, Janet Peckinpah, Sean Sullivan, both made similar arguments but couldn't defeat him. What makes you think you can do it this year?
I'm the only elected Republican in southeastern Connecticut. I win in a district that's negative 15% Republicans and Democrats. What I've been able to do is reach out to independents, reach out to Democrats, and win 3 elections when many people can't win 1 election. I believe we have to do this on a united front. We need Democrats, Republicans, and independents, all of which understand we have a major fiscal crisis. Jobs. Joe Courtney has implemented policies and voted 99% of the time with Nancy Pelosi. These policies have led to 9.1% unemployment, and somebody has to be held accountable for those decisions.
What kind of discussions have you had with Rob Simmons? He was, of course, the last Republican to hold that seat, a military veteran like yourself.
Exactly. Colonel Rob Simmons is a great man. He's been somebody who I've always looked up to. And he's been telling me, listen, Chris, run your own campaign like you've done in the past, set goals, and as you move on through the campaign, next year we would like to be down by about 10 points. And then close the gap for the final few months.
Do you believe he's going to run for the Senate?
Honestly, I don't know. I know Rob Simmons is competent, knowledgeable, and he is one of the few Republicans in the state who I think could run literally for any position and be a credible candidate.
You know, the polls in these election results show election after election, this is a Democratic state. It was a tough go for Republicans last time, even though it was said to be a Republican year. Why do you think it is, if the situation is so bad, people continue to elect people who are raising their taxes?
Well, when you look at the municipal level, the foundation of elections, 100 of the 165 towns are Republican. When you look at statewide elections, we won 15 House seats. The record level in the past 30 years was 7 seats transferred from one party to another. We won 15. We won multiple Senate seats. So the foundation's there for a major transformation in Connecticut. And I think our 2012 will be really everybody else's 2010.
So you think that the Republicans are going to sweep?
Well, a sweep for us would pick up 1 congressional seat. Right now, all of Congress, meaning 5 congressmen, 2 senators, are all with the Democrat Party. And I always find that interesting because when you look at the demographics of the state of Connecticut, about 50% are now independent. You have around 30% are Democrat and 20% are Republican. So how can you have one party, which only truly represents those 29–30% by category, which is Democrat, be all of the congressmen in almost a veto-proof majority in Hartford? Something's not right, and you need balance.
You have to get by a challenger, Daria Novak, who ran last time. What makes you a better candidate than she is?
My background, I've won 3 elections over the past 5 years. Before that, I was not involved in politics or government. I traveled around the country visiting businesses from Puerto Rico to Maine, probably about 300 to 400 businesses, talked to their leadership about what's wrong, what challenges they face, how's their labor market working. I've been in the military 17 years. I'm now an officer in the Army National Guard, so I understand foreign policy. With my wife being just a new citizen, I understand immigration, and I believe my background experience is what the people of the 2nd District are looking for.
President Obama, according to the most recent poll, and this was by the conservative group, the Yankee Institute, said he had a 55% approval rating in this state, considerably higher than his national ratings, and he's going to be on the ballot next year. What do you tell people if they say, well, I like President Obama? What do you say to them?
We've looked at polls with the 2nd Congressional District. That's his lowest poll numbers, and they're in the 40s.
In that part of the state?
Yes, the 2nd Congressional District does not approve of President Obama, his policies. You know, about 80% of the public right now thinks America is going the wrong direction. With the unemployment levels, with the cost of gasoline, foreign policy that's questionable, the president is on a downward trend. And it's obvious his numbers have been going down consistently. I believe the people in the 2nd don't agree with the president, don't agree with Nancy Pelosi, and don't agree with Joe Courtney on many issues.
As you know, Pfizer moving a lot of people out of the New London, Groton area. The complaint was apparently from some workers they would rather be in a bigger city like Boston. How do you combat that? How could you, as a congressman, help improve New London? Well,
the bottom line is Hartford and D.C. have made Connecticut a abysmal place to do business. Unfortunately, time and time again, they've set policies that have made it challenging for people to prosper in Connecticut. That's why we're ranked by many magazines as one of the least business-friendly states in America. When you have legislators in Hartford consistently calling out leaders for these companies, Pfizer, Pratt & Whitney, setting policies like paid sick leave, there's got to be a time when somebody with a different ideology is elected. And I think I'll do that in Hartford.
Chris Coutu, state representative, Republican, running in the 2nd Congressional District. Good to see you on the program. Best of luck and enjoy your first Father's Day.